trying to think of. I mean, Under the Bridge. Other than Under the Bridge and Blue Hour, which is a feature film I did, most of my other set experiences have only been like a day or two. You know what I mean? So it's always been
Oh
like
wow,
super quick. Um, but it's different working in theater. Theater's like a different ball game because like
that's a circle of people you will see a lot, right?
circle people you see a lot, and the contracts tend to be or can be a little bit longer too. I just finished a show that was like I worked on for like a year. Um,
Wow.
and if I had dated someone in that show, I think well, I've known people who've done it and it's worked out fine. Um,
Sure, it can.
but generally, is it a good idea? I don't know. I think it totally depends on the people. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I don't have any. I can't think. I can't
That's
really point to any experiences that I've witnessed or experienced.
that's okay. I was just curious, like because as I was coming up with questions on here, I was like, I had an instinct that you worked very very hard before I asked that question. That like you're right, especially right now, you're very consumed with what you're doing. And theater actors are never just well, I'll show up and I'll know my lines and we'll do it. It's a commitment for before the show, during the show, and even afterwards. And there's a
Yeah,
lot to it that does take up your time. So I was just curious if set on set was a little different. So it's okay. You don't know, actually. That's a good thing.
yeah,
You haven't seen anything explode.
not yet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know if I would advise. Like, it's. I guess. I guess another part that's different too is that so often, like, I guess unless you're two actors that are like playing characters that are always in the same scenes. Like I find that schedules are so different. Like uh yeah, like Under the
Oh
Bridge, for
yeah.
example, it was shot over the course of quite a few months. But there was days where I'd like meet some actors and then I'd never see them again, like never be called on the same day. So it might actually be conducive to something like that working out as long as yeah, as long as maybe you're not working together all the time. I could
Okay.
see it working out.
Speaking of your last project, we want to dive in on Under the Bridge.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there. This is a big one.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, it's huge. It's blowing up everywhere. And like I said, episode 3 airs tomorrow. My question is, your most recent project is Under the Bridge, which is currently on Hulu. Episode 3 drops tomorrow. Are you gonna have a watch party?
I mean, I'm in Canada, so I haven't been able to see it.
They don't have
Um,
Hulu in Canada.
no, there's no Hulu in Canada, so it's
What
premiering.
bullshit is that?
I know
It's
it's
streaming.
brutal. And I didn't I didn't find out until fairly recently actually. But there's a release date for Canada if anyone's watching in Canada.
Please tell me yes.
Yeah, May 8th. It's going to be released on Disney Plus here in Canada. Am I
I
gonna
need
have
to
a
hit.
watch party? I don't know. Yeah,
Do it. Come on.
I should. Yeah, I should. I should do it. I should do. I think. Gosh, I guess this goes back to that thing of like the Rotten Tomatoes thing. Like these are things that are cool and important and stuff. But yeah, I don't take a lot of time to think about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I think I should though. I think it would be fun.
It's good. I read it as a sign of that you're humble, and you're also moving forward as well. You're like, yeah, it was awesome, but um,
Yeah,
yeah, but
I guess
I'm
I've also
basking in it
had.
for you.
Thank you. I guess I've also had experiences where I've like yeah watched stuff that I'm in with other people, and it's never as fun. I think I like watching stuff. It's just hard. It's hard to remove yourself, from the experience and
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've never watched
yeah,
this show with anybody else. So
yeah, totally,
I can't.
totally.
I know every
Yeah,
mistake I made. I know every goofy laugh, every it all
yeah,
just everything I don't like stands out. So um
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
plus,
totally get that.
you're remembering the view from your eyes outwards. You're seeing the camera guy over here. You're seeing, whatever's in your periphery, the director in front of you in your memory. Your memory isn't what this scene, what everybody else gets out of it. I always
Yeah,
wondered, like, if that also can take an actor out of enjoying their work because that was the end of a 8 hour or 12-hour day. It was raining. You were standing in water, and you're like, no, it wasn't a funny scene at all.
yeah, yeah,
I did not enjoy it.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess there is always that story of like what actually happened on set, but I think it's always also. I mean, I don't hate watching myself on screen. I think it's always a bit of a delight to see how it all turns out and see, yeah, like what the story ends up actually looking like versus what your idea of what it's going to look like. I think it's always like a cool surprise too.
That's got to be cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it has to be cool. Plus, you're seeing the artwork of everybody else involved too at that point, like what
absolutely,
everybody did together.
absolutely.
Right on,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
on. And speaking of everybody together, is Constable Gardner based on one person or an amalgamation of people?
From my understanding, he's totally fictionalized. Yeah, there's a few characters in the show that are based, of course, on the real people that the true events are based on, or that the show is based on. But then there's some characters that were made up for the show, and I think, yeah, Constable Gardner, as far as I know, is not based on any real person.
Did you base it on any real person, or is this
Just on,
character an invention?
yeah, I didn't reference anyone specific, other than just yeah, other than just some of my own research, talking to police officers, and then just imagining, um, yeah, based on what was in the script too, in the description of the character, what my own experience, just imagining what my own experience of that would be like, and trying to live as authentically as I can, and yeah, in those circumstances. So it's really selfishly based on myself.
That's okay. Did it work? It worked. You got the gig for it, like, and they let you do what you wanted to do. That's
I love that idea though of like referencing. I've just been like on a binge of watching videos of Barry. What's his last name? His last name is escaping me. From Dunkirk, and he did. Um, uh,
guys. That's what they're here for. Pop up, tell us.
Barry. It starts with his last name starts with the K. I can't believe I'm forgetting his last name. And he was in the Banshees of Inisherin with Colin Farrell. Anyway, he was talking about referencing, and he was talking about his specific role in that film with Colin Farrell. And I was like enamored because I was watching a clip of him, and he ended up getting
Hogan.
nominated for an Oscar for best supporting actor in that, and for a good reason. He was so good in it, and I was just like wondering like what his process was. And then I ended up watching a clip of him talking about that specific role, and he had referenced that the What's Eating Gilbert Grape with Johnny Depp and Leonardo DiCaprio, and Leonardo and DiCaprio's role in that, as that boy. He was like, "Yeah, I referenced this role for this role that I was playing," and I was like, "Oh yes, that's what's happening here," and it's so good and it's so clear. Like once you see that reference, um, so yeah. To go back to your question, I didn't
I think you've
have any
just given me
specific.
homework. I'm interested to
Yeah,
see that now too. Yeah, because Gilbert Grape
yeah.
is actually one of my absolute favorite movies,
Oh
for
yeah,
so many reasons on so many levels. And
yeah,
even my wife and I debate whether it has a happy ending or not, and I say it does because Gilbert
mm,
got. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but Gilbert gets freedom
yeah. I got to go
in
back
the
and
end.
rewatch. I've seen it a couple times, but I don't
Yeah.
remember how it ends. But
It
yeah,
seems
so
like it ends
good.
on a down note, but it doesn't.
Mm.
I'm not going to spoil it for you for your rewatch. It's still one of my favorite absolute movies, and that's whenever I didn't even I remember uh, Leonardo DiCaprio. I was blown away and still am blown away by his performance in that
Yeah,
movie. It's like
yeah,
he did it with so much respect and
yeah,
honesty and truth
yeah,
that like it just shines. Like I didn't even know who Leonardo DiCaprio was at the time, and I'm like, wow, is this person actually on the spectrum or
yeah,
MR? I didn't know, and he
yeah,
was that good. So great movie,
yeah,
great reference. I'm gonna have to look up. I think they typed in my notes here, Kogan,
yeah. Kyogen,
Kogan,
Kogan. Yeah,
Kogan. Yeah,
I was afraid to pronounce it. I almost said
that's
Barry
why you
Katz as a
typed it.
joke.
Thanks.
No, it was Josh though. Brendan Gleeson's in that movie though. He's fantastic.
In which movie?
I think he's referring to Inisherin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
My brain locked up because I went to make an Ed Sheeran joke, and you could see me freeze in real time. That was pretty great. Thanks, Josh, for the assist.
Only Ed Sheeran gets to make Ed Sheeran jokes. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Be safe out there. Treat each other well.